Welcome back to the channel, and in this video we're going to take off the power steering box and we're going to be installing a manual box. If you stick around to the end of the video, I'll show you some upcoming content that I've got going, as well as, since we removed the power steering box, part of that content in installing the manual in the upcoming videos will be to show you the alternator bracket that I purchased from ICT Billet. Since I'm not going to use the factory bracket, it has the provision for the power steering pulley, or power steering pump and pulley. So I just purchased the ICT Billet alternator bracket only. So we'll be putting that on and show you the fitment and the clearance and all that good stuff. So let's get started with the video, and don't forget to stick around and check out the upcoming content. Okay guys, what I've done, I had all of my stuff already off of my power steering box, but I put it back on here for those of you that may still have this in your truck and you're wanting to convert to a manual. So you're going to have a 7/16 socket. That's going to take out the bolt that holds the steering shaft to the steering, the spline steering shaft on the power steering box. Then you're going to need a 5/8. That's going to take out your frame bolts here, as well as the 11/16 to take the nut off. They call this the relay rod, but it's just the kind of like the tie rod end looking things on this steering shaft, or this coupler here that couples your tie rods to the wheels. So I don't have a line wrench, but this the nut that goes to your power steering pump is an 18mm, and then you can leave this is the return hose, you can leave this inside the power steering unit and when you remove it. So first thing you want to do is get these lines off, get everything taken off, and that's what we're going to do. We'll get all this off, and then we'll install the manual box, and I'll show you how it fits up, which I am. This Pitman arm for the power steering unit will fit the manual steering box, but I want to keep everything intact so I don't, not piece parting everything together. So what I did was I bought a new Pitman arm, and I'll give you the part number for that, as well as the steering box that I purchased did not come with a nut. So I've got all that over on the bench, and I'll show you that before we get started putting this back on. So let's get this removed, and then we will we'll get the other manual box on, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, we've got our power steering box off the truck. Here's our manual steering box that we're going to be using. I did, for those of you that are wondering, I did find a 4-bolt box. I searched junkyards forever looking for this particular box that has the 4 bolts in it. That was the Cardone or Cardone box that they put on the Chevy S10s years ago. And when I searched for the Cardone part number, you can't buy them anywhere. You might find one online somewhere, but I actually went to Reilly and they crossed it over, and this is one of their Master Pro rebuilt series brands that still has the 4-bolt box. I have checked, the bolt pattern is the same. This shaft is the same as this. And if you look, I told you I bought a new control arm. I bought the Moog control arm, and I'll leave all these part numbers for you, but there's the part number. K440031. It is the same, and I've already painted this box. It comes packed in grease, and I painted this Pitman arm as well, but you can see it's exactly the same pitch. The holes are the same for the relay rod as well as the output shaft. The downside to this box, it does not come with a nut, so I had to order the nut and washer that goes on there, and there's the part number for that, 56358. And I did not have a 33mm socket, so I had to order the 33mm socket. I have checked to make sure that this is splined the same as this or this, and it's all the same. And I am using the Hooker Blackheart steering shaft. There's the part number for that. And I have checked to make sure that the splines and everything fit on the output shaft. So the next thing is we'll get this bolted on the truck, and what I am going to do is when I get it bolted on there, I'm going to make sure that it is centered. So I'm going to, this is supposed to be 7.5 turns lock to lock. The 3-bolt case, and when they say 3-bolt, they're talking about these bolts up here. The 3-bolt case is a 6.25 turn lock to lock. So this one has a little more turn in it than the 3-bolt. Everybody says you want the 4-bolt. I don't know. I've never had the 3-bolt kind, so this is going to suffice for me. So let's go over here and get this back on the truck, and we will we'll put our nut on here. I'm going to be using Loctite on all those locations. So I'll get you set back up. We'll get it on the truck, and we'll end out this video. Okay, we've got the steering box installed. I temporarily installed my steering shaft to the manual steering box so I can make sure that my box is in time. And what I mean by that is I want to make sure this shaft didn't get turned in shipping, or somebody at the parts store just didn't twist it, and I put my Pitman arm on there and it not line up and give me the same amount of turns on the wheel side to side. So let me show you how I did that. What I did is I went ahead and installed it, and I just locked the steering wheel out to one side. You notice my mark's upside down. So now I'm going to count how many revolutions does it take to go all the way to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It locks out about right there, but that's 7. So I need 3.5 turns to center my steering box up. So what I'll do is I'll take my half mark and line it back up, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So now I should have 3.5 turns lock to lock. Let's test it. All right? 1, 2, 3 and a half. All right, let's go back. There's my half. 1, 2, 3. Now I should have 3.5 turns to the left to the lock. 1, 2, 3, and there's my half. So now let's center it back up. 1, 2, 3. Now I know my steering wheel is straight, and I know my gearbox, my manual steering gearbox, is in time with lock to lock, and that's how I did that. Okay, last thing we're going to do, install our Pitman arm, get our relay link or center steering link connected, and we'll finish this out. Okay, here it is, guys. The manual steering box is installed. If I didn't tell you in the first of the video, these frame bolts will fit this manual box. I got the center steering link, or relay link as they call it. No need for blue Loctite. They have cotter pins and castle nuts that hold them secure. So I'll take you back to the table. I didn't tell you the part number to the gearbox at the first of the video, but it is the old Reilly Master Pro rebuilt or remanufactured manual gearbox. It's a 803-0103, and it is a direct replacement for the Cardone or Cardone, however you say that, 27-5002. Now, it does not come, again, with the nut or the lock washer. 56358. If you don't want to pull your Pitman arm off your power steering box, again, you can use the Moog. You can use I use the Hooker Blackheart steering shaft for 82 to 93. As always, I will leave all these part numbers in the description below. Now that we don't have a problem with the power steering pulley hitting the power steering gearbox, my factory bracket, I don't want to put that on there. I want just an alternator bracket. So what I'm going to use is over here on the table. I ordered the ICT billet alternator bracket kit, so it doesn't have any provisions for the power steering or any kind of accessories other than just an alternator. I got the belt that they recommended. We'll see in the upcoming video if that's the right belt or not. So more upcoming content before I let you go. Give me 10 more seconds, guys. We're going to be relocating the battery. I picked this battery box up on Marketplace, so I'm going to put the battery in the back of the bed. I've got my breakers, my remote charging terminals, as well as a master disconnect, all my wire. I've got everything here. I'm going to sleeve the wire to protect it going under the frame, as well as some 3/4 inch clamps, and we'll talk about that more in the upcoming video. You did notice I got a roll pan here. I didn't want to drill holes and mount this in my Blazer bumper. It is a pristine bumper and they're hard to find, so I can find these all day long. So I'm going to save that Blazer bumper for another project. Speaking of project, shout out to Your PCMD. He's a follower of the channel. He reached out to me. He and I have been talking. He's getting his truck back from the paint shop, so I can't wait to see how his project's turning out. So leave me some comments in the comment box below, guys, on what you guys are doing, your projects, this video. If you like it, like this video, leave me a comment, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave. Thanks for stopping in, and we'll catch you in the next video.